Welcome to a Better Place Australia podcast. In this case study, newly separated parents were facing unknowns about the care arrangements for their 11-year-old son and when each of them would see him. Better Place Australia Family Dispute Resolution Team Leader Eliza shares how she worked through the care arrangements with them and what the outcome was.
So what we're talking about is some parents who had very recently separated. The separation had only occurred, I think, about 2 months prior to them actually attending their initial mediation session. These parents had one child. And so this little boy, who was about 11 years old, was very much the focus for both his parents.
Why do you think they needed to initiate the mediation so soon after the separation?
I think when parents separate, there's a lot of unknown. It's difficult territory to navigate. It's really hard to know what you need to do, and it can feel really overwhelming because you've got all those emotions that you're trying to manage, but you're also trying to navigate the practicalities of, okay, what do I need to do? What happens with the children? What happens with the property? So I think getting some legal advice can be a good thing, but also coming through a process like mediation can be a good thing in terms of giving parents a bit of a sense of direction around what their future looks like.
So how did you work through this with them?
So a lot of parents will come and their main focus will be on the care arrangements and what that looks like. So when I say care arrangements, what I'm referring to is who has the child or children on any given night. And that looks different for every family. Some parents might do changeover on a weekday, others might have every second weekend, others might have 50-50. It really depends on the circumstances of that family and the needs of that child or children. What these parents wanted to achieve through mediation was, okay, if we want to go overseas with our son, what does that look like? What sort of agreement do we need? What are the guidelines around that?
Yeah.
And that's where mediation was really helpful for them because it allowed the practitioner to go through things that are commonly discussed in mediation and that the parents, having been newly separated, may have not even thought about.
And so how was the outcome with this scenario?
So in this matter, they did end up with quite a comprehensive agreement, but given that the separation was so recent, what they wanted to do was trial the care arrangements, have the other things like school holidays, special occasions, interstate and overseas travel, passports, all those kinds of, other factors. They wanted to have that down so they had something to guide them.
Yeah.
However, what they wanted to do was trial the care arrangements first on a temporary basis and then come back and really finalise the care arrangements and have more discussion around those other elements of their parenting agreement.
Did they find that the trial went okay for them? Were there many changes?
Yeah, I think trialling the agreement was a really good idea for them because they didn't know what separation was going to look like. They didn't know what their communication was going to look like, whether they were going to be able to communicate at all or how effectively that would happen. So when they came to mediation, there was a great deal of unknown. Coming back after being able to trial those care arrangements gave them a lot more clarity on other issues that popped up that they hadn't considered and that we might not have discussed in their original mediation. So that happens quite often, Chris, in that, parents will come to mediation and as we go through the process, they'll say, oh, actually, we also need to talk about this or that.
Yeah.
And that's completely fine. As long as both parents are agreeable to have those conversations, then we can put new topics on the agenda or remove topics as the parents wish.
And do you think that they're going to come back in the future with new issues that have arisen through the process?
Look, their communication was actually pretty good. I think having that discussion early on around the fact that, you might not always agree and you might not be able to consult each other on every single decision. But as long as there was some child focused, respectful communication about those big kind of issues,
Yeah.
that's really important. I think the the thing that would, I guess, get either one of those parents to initiate another mediation would really be the age of the child and the fact that some of those arrangements that they came to when he was 11 may not be as applicable when he's 14 or 15.
Yeah.
I think one of the things to bear in mind is potentially neither of you are going to get exactly what you wanted, or what you came into the process hoping to achieve. However, what you want to get is something that you can both live with and that is workable for the child.
That's the takeaway, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think it was successful in that, this little boy was really able to enjoy spending time with both his parents and have that consistency and stability. So in that respect, whenever that happens, I always consider that a successful mediation.
That's Eliza, Team Leader for Family Dispute Resolution at Better Place Australia. If you're a separating parent or a separated parent needing mediation, then contact the Family Dispute Resolution team for assistance. Go to betterplaceaustralia.com.au.